All right, let's give me the wave so I know when to connect the audio versus the video. Let's start.
I thought you wanted me to wave.
The theme song.
You're gonna get sued for that?
I hope not.
I think you only used 15 seconds from the copyright law.
All right, well, we turn it off and we're here ready to go. Welcome back for episode 2, Mediation Talk MD here on YouTube and eventually on some sort of podcast network once we get going. We've already had some software technological difficulties today, but we're trying to do our best to brave through them. But hopefully we'll have video all the way through this video this time.
Yes, and also happy St. Patrick's Day, Michael.
Thank you.
And you're in your green.
My last name, I'm the honorary Michael Irish.
However, he's not Irish.
I'm not.
But he is Irish today.
I do love the color green. I've adopted all the festivities with my name. I will fully and freely participate. I enjoy the holiday now.
And take advantage of your name today?
Exactly.
Yes, I tried to put this in my hair, but it didn't work.
We had it in
look better
we had it in the micro. I mean, I don't mind wearing it for the show.
No, I know. I have a...
This could be...
Well, I end up using my headband and putting it on here, but anyhow...
If it gets us more listeners and or YouTube viewers, I mean, I'm willing to take...
Yeah,
Take one for the team here.
That looks great on you, Michael.
And it's right here with
Stand
Camelback
right
Mountain
here,
in the
Camelback
background.
Mountain.
I think I tried this last episode, but I mean, if you can see, it's Camelback Mountain's right about here.
Can we see it?
I'm not quite so sure if the video on the laptop is going to be as good a quality
well, at least
to pick that.
Let everybody know Camelback Mountain is like right here.
Correct.
Okay, and the golf course, right on the golf course. And is there anybody out there golfing? I don't see anybody. See, now I can see better with this. It's
much bigger,
video.
Yes.
Much bigger.
And we did have the repairman walk right by and try to clean the patio as we got started.
Well, they were cleaning the gutters out today, and my other patio is a mess. But they did blow it off.
We resolved the conflict.
Yeah, you just told him to get the hell out of here.
Well, I may have asked nicely. He also might not have understood a word of English, but he saw
knew the word hell.
Because he came over here. Oh, we got a hummingbird in the way now.
Oh, now they came to visit us.
He came on to clean your patio, and we're like, no, we're doing a show. And he's like, okay, and then just waved. Okay, so I'm assuming that was, universal symbol for take a hike.
Can you keep it low? He says, hey, yeah, it's all right. He didn't get too much debris out here, but anyhow.
But for those of you joining us, we welcome you back. This is officially episode 2 of the Mediation Talk MD YouTube show podcast extraordinaire.
Meaning, MD meaning.
Michael and Diann.
Because we said last week none of us are doctors. He's a JD. I'm an OD. So,
yes, but our show is the legal prescription, or a vocal prescription for your legal woes.
Right. And Michael, you had a couple of them this week.
I did have a couple of topics.
Yeah, you did, and we'll talk about those because I think you resolved them very, very nicely. And you didn't even need to have to call me. That was really
well. Yeah, one of them was resolved on its own. I may have been a little bit forceful in forcing a resolution.
Yeah, just like you told this guy to get out of here.
Well, sometimes you want to get things done. You got to get things done.
Yeah, you do. That's right. Yeah, and it's how you do it. It's how you do it. It's how you say it.
But yeah, we'll go over that briefly. I got a couple of things from my practice that we could talk about. We've got a couple of things that you experienced this week in life.
Some major conflict.
We all experienced a little bit of COVID because that's just what's going on these days.
Yes, at least we're not sick. I've had my shot. You haven't had yours, but I'm okay.
I don't think I'm of age to even qualify any time in the reasonable near future.
Nothing's going to get you, Michael.
I hope not.
No. Be afraid. We were talking about St. Patrick and how he got all the snakes out of Ireland, but I still think there's some here.
I did see your Facebook post about that. I thought that was pretty good. Yes.
Which one about?
I thought it was you. Maybe it wasn't.
Oh.
It was St. Patrick. It was a cartoon version of St. Patrick on a horse, and then he was like whipping the snakes out. And
then it wasn't me.
I saw another one, and maybe this wasn't you either. It was a car, like a van, with him driving and all the snakes as passengers, but acting like children, asking questions like, "Are we there yet? I have to go to the bathroom." So I thought that was you too, but maybe not.
No, it wasn't. I'm just on TikTok. Yeah, I'm just on TikTok, which we will be on TikTok with this show too, by the way.
If we can figure out how to do it.
It's easy, not hard.
I know nothing about TikTok.
Well, I do. So I do more. I know more about TikTok than how to deal with this.
The only thing I know about TikTok is I've seen the videos you've sent me.
Okay. Do you like them?
Yeah, but my point with that is I don't have an account. I don't know how to use it.
Well, I can.
I don't want to know how to use it.
I can do it tonight. We'll do it tonight.
I did Snapchat several years back, and that was entertaining for a moment, but I don't care about any of that stuff.
Well, I think what's bad with me with TikTok is because I just got really addicted to all the people on there, and I think it's funny. I think it's hysterical. TikTok's funny. And the more you do it, the more funny it becomes. And I think I decided that I was going to sing. I kind of did a dirty version of Johnny Angel. And that was after half a bottle
Angel. That song?
I love him.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
After I drank half a bottle of Prosecco one night, entertaining myself.
I think that song's in Back to the Future.
Yeah, no, I don't know where that was from. But anyhow, that was one of my favorite songs. But getting back to the show, how was your week? Tell us about what happened with you with your financing, what happened? You're going to sue these people?
Yeah, no. Definitely, no, it's definitely not.
Your refi.
So, one of our topics of the day, and probably an ongoing topic for the semi-near future until it ever does get resolved, is COVID-related issues and how they affect mediation life and et cetera, et cetera. And so, and the viewers don't know this, and it's not necessarily timely depending on when you're watching this video, but with COVID and all the stuff going on, the rates for refinancing are very favorable right now. And I took advantage of that, and I refied my home and got about 25% off my rate. But the issue with all of this and how it relates back to COVID is, and as the listeners know from our bio show, and I think we're going to expand on that a little bit today, as a solo practicing law firm, a single lawyer, running my own deal, I am a sole proprietor and self-employed, however you want to describe it. And because of all of the closures the last year of all the small businesses because of COVID issues, banks are now taking significantly extra precautions on their due diligence and reviews of your financials and otherwise to make sure you can ultimately qualify for this loan for a 30-year term, or we lost the flower, for the 30-year term or whatever it is that you've got. And so anyway, I started this process back in December.
Oh, my word.
And for those of you out there, we are recording this here on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. So 2.5 months later, my loan is finally finished. Now, some people say, that's the normal, reasonable amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Maybe. But, I mean, I'm a real estate lawyer. I do these things kind of regularly, and so it seemed like it took an awful long time, particularly when I was asked for documents, I had them to them within a day. Whether I get them, produce them, whatever it was, because I wanted this thing done as soon as possible before the rates went back up. I realized I was locked in and everything else, but
I understand. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, for some reason I didn't qualify.
With the show, right?
Yeah, if I didn't qualify, I could go somewhere else and try to lock it back in. So anyway, a little bit of a timeline. I don't want to get over the exact details because I don't necessarily want to expose the awful title company that I did have to deal with.
We call them the asshole of the week this week. Maybe we could make
maybe my specific escrow officer for lying to me about something and getting caught.
Tell us about the lying.
Okay. Originally, the deal was supposed to fund and close on Friday.
Right. I remember you were all excited.
Yeah, because I've been dealing with this for months, legitimately months, multiple. I've wanted to get this done and over with. So it was supposed to fund on Thursday, Friday, whatever the deal was. I sent in my monies on Friday, and they accepted my monies on Friday.
Oh, of course. That's their fees that they want.
Yeah, well, that's all they really want. That's all they care about. So anyway, I emailed these folks back. Guys, you took my money. What's the status of my recording? Where are my documents? I mean, I signed all my documents last Wednesday, a week ago today.
Did you put an ESQ after your name?
No, my signature is just my initials.
I know, but maybe that would have
If anyone wants to see my actual signature, you can search Maricopa County Recorder's Office for my name. I'm on all kinds of documents for my law practice.
But no, I'm saying because if they saw ESQ after your name, maybe they thought, oh my gosh, we better do something here. It's going to accuse us of fraud.
It's funny because they were also, I was corresponding with them on my personal email, so they didn't have any of my law firm contact info, so maybe they didn't know, which was a mistake on behalf of the escrow agent, as I will get into.
Okay.
So anyway, they accepted my monies. I asked where my documents were. Because, you've got experience in purchasing homes, refinancing. You give the money, you sign your papers, the papers get recorded, you get copies of it, and you go on with your life.
Right.
So I wanted my papers so I could go on with my life. emailing them, guys, where's the status of my documents? Please forward them over. And if I was going through the email chain, my officer had told me my deal had funded and it was recorded or had been sent to recording. And so I followed up with that.
And
okay,
he told you that.
What's the status? And I've got the whole lengthy email on my computer. It's quite frustrating to read it. But there were several points throughout the timestamps of the emails where I was told it had funded, it had closed, it had recorded. And so I responded back, okay, if it's recorded, where are my documents?
Exactly.
Because if it's recorded, that means you've gotten them back with a timestamp. And so, and the only way you can get that back, and the only way it's been recorded, is to get it back. So I kept repeatedly asking them for these documents.
And how long did that take?
They couldn't produce them.
Whoa.
And that's when I had to explain to these folks, guys, I'm a real estate attorney. I do these types of deals. I record documents with the county recorder. Stephen Richer is my friend. Because of my campaign, I got to know him, and we've become somewhat friends, and we talk about basketball and whatnot. But anyway, I actually sent him a message, and I asked him the process. Once you upload something, how long does it take for it to record, timestamp wise, this, that, and the other? Because I'm going to do my background and due diligence before I come out and accuse you of something.
Yeah, it's your people.
And so I had discovered that it was not possible for these folks to have recorded my document when they said they did, because there would be a timestamp on it, and they would have gotten a copy right back with the timestamp information, so they could have easily sent it to me. And so anyway, this was on Monday. Tuesday comes along, yesterday, and throughout the morning, guys, still waiting on an update. Where are my documents?
And you don't want to get his Irish up.
And so I started getting a number of excuses. Oh, we'll talk to the recording department. We'll get that from you.
Oh.
Now, mind you, this company that they were using, my loan company used this other title company that was not in the state of Arizona. And so I don't know if that was part of the issue.
Maybe.
I imagine it probably was, because of this. The part is they didn't know how to record a document in this state. So when I had to inform them that I did.
Maybe it was in Indonesia or something.
No, it was in the Midwest.
Oh, okay. A fake city or something.
No, it was a real city. But anyway, the irritation ultimately came when I finally did get the documents back, and I looked at the timestamp, and it was yesterday afternoon.
Oh, after you had called them repeatedly, and you got the stamp yesterday.
And that's when I had known, after talking to Stephen about the process and just my own experience, when you upload a document on the recorder's website, it goes into what's called the queue. Just a line of all the documents have to be reviewed. And there's anywhere from 0 to 200 documents at any given time. But ultimately, it never really takes more than about 30 minutes to an hour once you've submitted something to get recorded. And so it was not possible for them to have done this on Monday, nor it was not possible to have done this Tuesday morning and then have a timestamp with that late of a date on it.
Right.
So it means these folks didn't even do this until mid-afternoon yesterday, Arizona time. And so anyway, the whole point of the story is
liar.
They lied to me about it.
Hands on fire.
I caught them in the lie, and then I brought it up to them and goes, guys, I understand that you deal with a lot of these transactions. It's your business, and you don't really have someone like me on the other side of it, but I'm an expert on this type of transaction. I know exactly how this works. I've drafted these documents that we're using in the transaction. So to try to tell me how it's going to work mechanically, and I know those mechanics are incorrect, you're not going to get away with that.
Right.
And so I just laid out a long email about all the things that this guy had been untruthful about.
Documenting.
And I didn't even really want much about it. I didn't want the aggravation and the stress ultimately to deal with this.
You just want your fees back?
And so I just told him, guys, just call it even, because I don't want to get all angry about it. Just give me my fees back and we'll call it a day, because I don't really want to have to report anyone. I don't really want to have to notify the BBB.
Right.
I really don't want this guy to lose his job.
You could have done that.
Well, and the bad thing about it is my escrow officer had warned me. I'm getting some of the terms interchanged and mixed up, and I shouldn't do that. But
we're going to confuse people.
I had my loan officer from my financial company had warned me about the person at the title company that I was assigned, and they had told me that this person, they had told me that person had messed up on one of their prior deals, so they kind of cautioned me to keep an eye out on this guy, and so that was why I was a little irritable when I was getting all these things about, oh yeah, your deal's done, it's finished. Okay, then where's my paper?
Yeah. So what was his excuse for this? What was his answer to you in response?
We still don't have one.
Okay.
So this is somewhat ongoing. If anyone out there is watching this, it's privileged. Don't listen to this portion of the conversation. But it's ongoing.
I think that what you're saying here, Michael, in this the show is mediation and how to resolve your disputes. And this obviously was a dispute, but also know that Michael is experiencing these kinds of things, and anyone out there listening that has a problem or wants to get refinanced in their house or mortgage or whatever they want to do, they could reach out to you now. I mean, you know exactly what you need to do. So that's always good. You never know. People could have all these kind of problems and they don't know where to turn and they get frustrated. I feel sorry for the seniors out there. So this guy is a snake in the grass that, he
needs to be weeded out here on St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's.
We're airing our frustrations here on YouTube.
Right, and maybe we can make him our asshole of the week.
It's possible.
Yeah, that would be good. I nominate him. I mean,
I guess we can make it official here.
If we can do that,
I think we can.
I think we have a little bit of the soundtrack to it.
No, not this one.
Well, that was an old one.
This is it. Thank you, Midwestern Title Company, which shall be unnamed, for being our asshole of the week.
Naming who that person is.
The specific officer in my transaction.
Right. So anyhow, everyone, just know if you have an asshole out there, we're going to help you get the word out. Yeah.
Ultimately, though, I don't want to say the moral of that story or anything else, but this is
no moral here of anybody lying to you.
This is a conflict show. And there was a conflict in that transaction, and ultimately it wasn't a conflict that needed to result in a mediation. It was something small enough where I can brush it aside. It can be resolved with a matter of a few emails. But had I been someone that was more temperamental or litigious, maybe I would raise hell. Maybe I would go file a lawsuit.
You temperamental?
Sometimes. It depends how much rest I get the night before.
You temperamental?
Oh, our friend's back.
Oh, hello.
So anyway,
he's walking right by. He's afraid. He just keeps walking.
Well, I mean, when you've got work to do, you've got work to do,
well,
and we've got work to do
and
here.
And they're good hard workers too.
I was talking about us in the show.
Oh, I know we're hard workers too.
I would like this to stay here, but it will not do that. So gravity's a problem.
Fell down too.
I know we're having all kinds of problems. At least we have video for now.
At least we're here.
So
and
the next thing's going to happen, we're going to have a golf ball fly into view here.
Well, no, we're not going to wish that on anybody. They only get right to the wall. They end up in the lake back there.
But back to what I was getting at. I think a lot of this stuff could have been resolved if it weren't for a lot of the extra complications driven in by the COVID factors. And now I realize no one can control that type of stuff, and the economics of the deals. Everyone's got to protect themselves. I get it. But ultimately, I think that it was the COVID stuff that caused all these delays, which kind of makes everyone a little bit lackadaisical, if you will.
No, it does.
And I think people slack off, and that's why some of these details got swept under the rug, and ultimately why...
And there aren't people in their offices. Everybody's on Zoom. I know how it's been with our mediation
Everyone's
industry
working
and
from
business.
home.
Yeah, right.
And then, your dog gets in the way.
And there's babies crying, or now we're stuck on our patio. I haven't been evicted yet. We've been very lucky, but we're here, and that's all that matters. But I think it's affected everyone, and which brings up a point about the stimulus package. And I was telling Michael that this past Sunday, this weekend, I had Maddie for the afternoon, and I took her over to the Scottsdale Fashion Park. I couldn't believe how many people were there.
With or without masks?
With masks.
Okay,
with
good.
masks.
At least we're all safe.
Yeah, with masks. But we do have a story to talk about people that did have a mask on at one of the other stores over there that caused a huge brawl. Mass brawl.
For those of you at home, depending on where you're watching us from, in the state of Arizona right now, we continue to have is it a statewide mask mandate for public spaces?
Yes.
So that's why we're
like
talking about this. And so I don't want to cut you off, but I know there's some people out there that go, What does that mean?
Well,
but that's why it's still relevant here in the state of Arizona.
It is. And people that don't have a mask on, people here, let them hear about it. Believe me. There was a brawl at one of the stores at Fashion Park. They actually got in a fight. I'm talking, it looked like a Jerry Springer episode. Pulling hair, knocking him down. It ended up on national news.
It did?
Yes, it did. It did.
Was it on Wolf or
Well,
who?
it was on TikTok.
Oh, I wouldn't call TikTok. Okay, if you want to get there, this is a national program too. It's international if you got internet somewhere else too. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to call it national news. But okay, go ahead. We can continue.
It did. It made CNN. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. But anyhow, I had heard about it after the fact, after I was there. But what I couldn't understand, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, everybody, but I couldn't understand the long line of people, not down at the food court. I'm talking at the Louis Vuitton store and the Gucci store.
Were they trying to sign over their stimulus checks? Or?
I don't know what they were doing, but the stimulus checks were supposed to come out last Friday.
But I think it's a stimulus debit card now, so now you can just swipe your stimulus.
Oh, that's a direct. Oh, you can just swipe it and go into the Louis Vuitton store. There's nothing in there for $1,400.
Yeah, I mean,
you can get a bag,
an accessory or something.
And
yeah?
Even the keychains are $900.
Yeah, you can get a half. You can get one and a half of those with your stimulus.
Right.
The stimulus is what, $1,400 this time?
Take $1,400, and I'm thinking, what are these people doing in line? They're wrapped all the way around the building. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. And Gucci was the same way. Victoria's Secret, they all were. Every store over there was. I don't know what they were giving away. Louis Vuitton. Mm-hmm. But I think they were only letting so many people go in there, but I've never seen a crowd like that before.
Okay, so they were having a capacity with the store type thing. Gotcha.
But then I thought I shouldn't judge anyone. It's none of my business. But this is Scottsdale Fashion Park, guys.
Scottsdale Fashion Park?
Yeah, this is Snobsdale Fashion Park. I shouldn't say that because we're always over there too. But
I'm not.
I was surprised. I really was surprised. And all the people in the store shopping, because I haven't been there in months and months and months and months and months. I just haven't been. So I got out of my line at Louis Vuitton. I'm kidding. I could sell stuff to them, right? But I think after all of this has happened, I'm real sensitive about financial stuff. I don't want to spend any money. I just feel badly for everybody that's going through this because it's affected all of us. Everybody's going into their savings or into their life earnings or whatever just to pay for things.
Assuming you have savings and life earnings.
To keep them going.
I mean, there are people that are relying on this stimulus. That's why it was designed.
Right, and there are also people out there that are expecting things to happen that don't happen. Just like our show when we were supposed to get all these sponsors and
be on iHeartRadio.
And well, maybe we say that.
I might have to. I might have to do a little editing.
You may edit that out. Yeah, any of the radio shows, they're all suffering, and I'm thinking, they're not going to pay for sponsorship. So what does that mean? But we're back. We want to be. Anybody can be a sponsor. We'll take anything. We're not that desperate, but we'll take anything. Come on, we'll do that. I mean, somebody said just support us, just be there, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. But anyhow, I feel badly for all those people that are suffering out there during this COVID and during this epidemic. It's affected everyone. Even I think every business has been affected by it. I think there isn't anyone that I can say that is like saying, yeah, this is having affect me at all. I think it's affect everyone. The healthcare business.
I could have said before that it didn't affect me very much, but with my refi and whatnot, it affected me then.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's right. But it has affected, I think, a lot of people. It affected the seniors, people that need people to come in their house to take care of their family members, like myself. They don't want to come in. Nobody wants to come in your house
and contaminate you or whatever the case may be.
That's right. But I had to bring that up because I thought that was interesting about the mask brawl and how people are fighting over the mask. And I think, Bank of America had another one.
Well, I want to jump back a second and expand on what we were talking about before the show, before we hit record, in back on the stimulus and whatnot. And you were saying that, people are hurting now, and that's true. I mean, I can attest to that via my law practice in a number of ways. I can't put an exact number on it because they come in intervals, but a good portion of my calls right now are people calling me saying, my landlord wants to evict me, or I'm getting late notices because I can't pay my rent, but I don't have any money. I lost my job, last April when the economy shut down, and so I don't know what to do. And so, I mean, we just made it. That's what the stimulus was designed for. Now, I don't know. Everyone's got a different situation, and so whether you actually, and let's just say the average person, I think, is getting $1,400 I don't know what that person's average rent is or what their costs are for food and other necessities, but I would imagine $1,400 is going to get someone through maybe a month or two. Yes. And I realize this is what, the
family,
third.
I think the family, if they join together or something, or joint returns, it's double that.
I think you get some more if you have dependents and stuff like that.
So we're not going to get into all the rules and regulation of this with the stimulus package meant, because I'll get it all wrong. But the single people that are suffering, or couples had child care, and everybody knows what they're entitled to. Believe me. Everybody that knows how much they're supposed to get.
Sarah knows. Sarah knows. She told me how much she was supposed to get. I didn't even care, but
yeah, okay.
I don't care how much if I get one, great, it's a bonus. Like, I don't really. It doesn't affect me that much.
Right. I'm glad that it hasn't.
Well, and like,
well, you're pretty frugal. Like my husband was pretty frugal. I mean, people that are.
I don't like. I like to
money.
say prepared.
You're prepared.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Are you hoarding coins and Bitcoin? Somebody asked me if they could buy Bitcoins.
I would like to have a bunch of Bitcoin because I think it's worth a lot of money these days.
Okay. Yeah, they're buying
probably like GameStop stock too.
Oh, okay.
To the moon.
Yeah, well, we should have a poker game. But anyhow, I agree with you, and I think that as things get better, people will start feeling better about everything.
And hopefully they won't be wrapped around the Louis Vuitton store. They'll actually be using that money for actual rent and food and this and that and the other.
Maybe they're going in to see what the Louis Vuitton bags are going for so that they could sell theirs.
Is there a discount or something? Is there a discount right now?
No, they never have discounts.
So you would know because you did go inside the Louis Vuitton store.
No, I didn't go in the Louis Vuitton store. The line was too long.
You just peeked through the glass while you walked by?
No, I didn't even peek through the glass. I just couldn't understand all these.
You went on the website.
No, I didn't even go on the website. Maddie kept pulling me away.
Way to go, Maddie.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I know we have our sugar contract with Ann. I did eat the entire bag of Skittles that you gave me.
Oh, yeah. She was here the other day. I couldn't have anything here but carrot sticks and cucumbers.
That's no fun.
No. And Pirate Booty. So I
What?
Said, Pirate Booty.
What is that? Pirate Booty?
Pirate Booty. It's kind of like.
Is it on the patio out front on the beachside home?
It's in. No. It's in. I have a box of them in my trunk of my car. Anyhow, getting back to mediation, we were going to talk about how you resolve that case, and you also have another case you resolved that could have gone to court. And what were we talking before? What you want to do is mediate, not litigate, not arbitrate. And Michael, tell us about that case you had this week.
I think ultimately,
and this is a good example of what we do, everybody.
And one of the themes of our show, and I think you've said it, is take the emotion out of the commotion, and conflict resolution is our job.
Conflict resolution is my job.
And so, I love that line. I like that. It's Tim Robbins in High Fidelity when he's having a imaginary fight scene with John Cusack. I really love that movie.
Conflict resolution is my job.
But anyway,
my job.
I did have a very interesting matter that came through my office last week, and it actually has been resolved. I'm not going to name any names, but I'll just give generalities on what occurred. But basically, Thursday night, I got a phone call from someone I've talked to a handful of times, and basically, they'd entered into a purchase contract to buy a building. Yes, for a couple $100,000, and for whatever reason, and I know the real reasons, but the contract was assigned a couple times because the purchasing entity was kind of reorganizing itself, and ultimately they also wanted to have which could have been done at escrow. I don't know why they just didn't have it issued into the name of the company they wanted it to be named to, the deed. But anyway, they decided to go through some amendments first. Anyway, long story short, the reason I was called Thursday night is because they were supposed to close escrow Friday morning.
Oh. Okay.
And
that's kind of giving you a little
the
heads
seller
up.
supposed to close escrow is what I'm saying.
Nice heads up.
And so I'm sitting there going, okay, well, why were they supposed to close escrow and why are we not? And ultimately, the seller had decided that they wanted more money for the property. Despite the fact the contract had been signed, entered into, deposits had been thrown down.
At the last minute.
It was in escrow.
At the last
they were
minute.
ready to close Friday morning. And I looked at the email chain. There was an email from the escrow company, completely different than the one from the Midwest. This was an Arizona one, competent people because the deal got closed, everything else. But the escrow officer had emailed out Thursday evening, we are ready to close. we're going to record Friday morning.
Oh, my word.
Friday morning comes along. We get another email. And my client had known about this because that's why they called me, because they had an interaction. So they'd been told that this was going to occur. So that's why they were preparing. But Friday morning comes along and sellers refusing to perform unless they get an additional $20,000 or whatever the number. It was some fraction. It was based on a decimal point of the overall sum, and they wanted a certain percentage back. And so it was like 20 and change. And so there was no reason for this, but based on the other things that my client was doing to reorganize themselves, they saw some extra value in the property, and they thought maybe we can, squeeze them, per se.
At the last minute.
At the last minute. And so I had to put together a very nasty letter, basically saying, guys, we had a deal, and you are now attempting to unilaterally change that deal.
So you did that on the last minute on Thursday.
I think I emailed
them on Friday morning.
Well, I think I sent this email at like 10:32 at night or something like that. Yeah, because I was talking to these. I mean, they called me at 7 o'clock saying, "Hey, we've got this problem and we need it done right now." And I was like, "Okay, I can take care of it." And so anyway, I got the letter done. I sent it off to them at 10:30 at night. I didn't get a response. Still haven't gotten a response. I did get one from the escrow officer saying, we received your letter. Thank you. Blah blah blah. But ultimately, they said, we followed the instructions of a parties, not, then they've got to agree. We can't just take unilateral instructions, which I had to ask them, well, you've taken unilateral instructions from the other side to cancel this deal, so you're kind of not following what you just told me. But anyway, my nasty letter to them basically said, guys, we had our contract. It's a done deal. We're ready to go. And all of a sudden, you are now trying to change those terms for personal gain. And I said, that's not allowed in the state of Arizona, nor anywhere. And so we demand that you perform on the current deal, or we're going to sue you for all our damages incurred, which was substantial. I mean, we're talking about a couple $100,000 property. My guys had done a bunch of due diligence and other work. They had spent somewhere between 40 and 50 grand on this deal, just researching and assignment fees and all that other stuff. And so, if the seller wanted us not to do the deal, my guys were fine with that. But they wanted all their money back.
I don't blame them.
And so my letter to these guys, and there was also going to be some additional damage that were going to be incurred because, frankly, the reason we bought this property is because it's worth more than what they were selling it for. They've got plans to do some stuff with it, retrofit it, you make it worth more, rent it out, sell it. I don't know the exact plan of it.
Blah, blah, blah.
But ultimately, the reason they were entering into this deal is because they were going to make more money off of it. And so that was something else that was going to be tacked on.
Their due diligence was bad because they should have researched that before to find out exactly what they were going to get before they made the deal with the person.
Who are we talking about?
The guys that you sent the nasty letter to.
Yes. Well, that's the whole crux of the issue. If you wanted a certain amount of money for the property,
ask for it at the beginning.
There you go.
Yep.
So anyway,
somebody screwed up.
They got my letter on Friday. They didn't respond to it. But come Monday morning, the escrow company sent out an email going, we've now been instructed to close escrow. Is everyone ready to go again? And escrow closed, it was either Monday afternoon or Tuesday, whatever it was. The deal did close. Everything's been resolved. All good. We're not suing anyone.
And that's because of what you did.
Correct. And so I don't want to say this was necessarily a mediation matter, issue, case, what have you, but my experience, the things that you taught me in our training, things that I've learned in my career, I looked at this situation with my outside perspective and said, this could be a lawsuit, and it's a slam dunk for my guys. I mean, if they want to file this, they'll win 8 days out of the week.
You could have talked them into it.
They didn't want to spend the money to do it, but it would have been worth.
You were an honest, honorable lawyer.
Well, I told them you guys would win all day.
Mediator,
I wouldn't take this case because I don't litigate, but I think you guys would win all day, and if you want to pursue it, we can get you there.
Yeah. And you weren't self-centered about it. You were thinking like you should be thinking outside the box.
Well, it was a situation where I looked at it and goes,
very good,
guys, we're going to send this nasty letter, but the hope of it is we don't have to follow through with any of these threats. The hope is they look at the letter and go,
holy,
oh darn, we screwed up. And if you ever seen the movie Speed, when Keanu Reeves translate that phone call, oh darn. Right?
Oh, darn. Oh, by the way, not to bring him up, but he is one of my TikTok followers.
Keanu?
Yes, I have him on here.
So
friends and buddies.
I think Sarah's mom and Keanu are friends on Twitter.
You want me to ask? them? Yeah, I'm on. He's on mine.
Because Lynn is always retweeting things that Keanu's doing on Twitter.
He's my buddy.
I like him. I think he's a good guy. I mean, I've never met him or anything, but
so's Howie Mandel.
he's always doing philanthropic things.
I love him. Yeah, I just love him. He's my friend.
Seems like a good guy to hang out with.
Yeah, he liked my song.
I mean, he plays a bunch of pretty good characters in all his movies too.
Yeah, I like him.
So, but anyway.
That's funny you mentioned that because I had to tell you that.
Crisis averted with the building issue because, like I said, I looked at the situation going, this could be a lawsuit, it could be a slam dunk, but they don't want to go through that effort and brain damage. The other side doesn't want to go through the expense of the
brain
loss.
Damage.
And so my letter was kind of like
It's excellent.
I don't want to say it was a mediation theme or anything else, but I basically told these guys, this is a problem for both of us. Why don't we just resolve it by agreeing to the deal that you've already agreed to, and then we can go our separate ways? Without
accruing any more conflict and also causing for a lawsuit, because you could resolve it, and you did it.
Yeah, and so, like I said, I just kind of sent my letter off, and I stood tight, and then I heard from my guys Monday morning, and I just got a phone call, and they called me and said thank you, and I said
thank you. They should be kissing your butt.
Well, and I responded back. I said, what are you guys thanking me for? I haven't heard anything yet, and that's what they said. Oh, the seller agreed to close escrow.
Well, great.
And so I'm sitting there going,
you were the last to know.
Well, yeah, no, that is that. So when they called me was the first time because no one had updated me. I wasn't copied on the documents for whatever reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I was called. Go, yep, we closed this afternoon. Thank you so much. You helped us out. And I go, okay, great.
And the check's in the mail.
Yeah, well, no, they asked me for my invoice, so obviously, they appreciated what I did for them. So yeah, I sent them a bill, and hopefully, I get my money.
Well, Sarah said that we should have a hero of the week as well.
And
come up with a hero song. I'm sure they're from, and you're the hero this week.
Okay, I could be the hero for the week.
I think that you were the hero for this group.
I typically don't think my efforts are heroic, but
no,
they are to others.
Let me tell you something. Does somebody get the call that late at night, and you respond diligently with your due diligence, and you didn't care what time it was, and you did that, and you got on this right away? That's what makes you good.
There was a time sensitivity issue.
Good.
Yes.
That makes you good. That's a hero. You could have said, well, it's blah, 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 too late. I don't think take them calls after
could have not answered the phone.
Not answered the phone. But, we've all had to resolve disputes at all kind of crazy hours of the night and day. And trust me, I know.
My other thought process was, I'm not really doing anything else right now watching TV.
Well, don't tell them that. Well, I mean, just let them know I'm a hero.
Well, but at the same time, though, I can watch TV during the day and work at night because I bill the same.
What were you watching?
I don't even remember. I mean, I actually think that I was going somewhere at 7:00. Maybe we went to my parents' house.
You were playing that game with your parents.
I think it might have been that night. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
But that game
you talked your dad into playing that game.
My mom made him, but yes.
Oh,
it's a lot of fun.
Okay,
it is a lot of fun.
We were going to play it.
You and Bill would like it. We had a lot of fun playing. It's a fun game.
What's the name of it again?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's some game that Sarah got me for Valentine's Day.
It's something about couples or something.
It's a couples game.
Did you two get any conflict playing this game?
It can kind of resolve and start conflict at the same time because you definitely can. You see how well you know your partner, and then you can get to know them better because if you answer a question that you're like, I didn't know that about you or this and that.
Oh,
and so there was some stuff like that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, and so there's any number of cards, and we played it one time now.
How'd your dad like it?
My dad didn't take it all that seriously.
Oh, he didn't?
Yeah. He liked to give some smart-ass type answers.
Oh, I bet. But your mother probably could have answered his
Well, that was the
questions.
funny thing. She knew he was going to be that way on a couple of them and still guessed his smart-ass response, so they got a point. So, yeah. I think Sarah and I ended up losing.
Funny.
I don't even remember who won or lost, but it was a lot of fun, and we are going to play again. And
so that's resolving conflict, playing a game with your family, and bringing up all kinds of stuff that you don't want to have to bring up.
It could start a conflict
start
too.
Start a big fight. Start a huge fight. DJ turned me on to the Big Bang Theory. I don't know where I've been all these years.
Sarah likes that show.
I never ever watched it. I mean, we were talking about shows that we like to watch, that we could watch any episode, anytime, any day. And mine was Cheers.
Okay.
And his was Big Bang Theory. That people were talking about this. And I said to him, I like going to Hillstones, because we're going to do a show over there, by the way, because I feel like it's a Cheers atmosphere for me, because everybody going in there. It's kind of like you walk in there and everybody knows your name. He says, well, that's not like Cheers.
Well, when you go
That's
there
not
every
like
day,
Cheers.
yes.
Yeah. He said, Diann, that's not like Cheers. That's a rich Cheers. I says, no, and I don't look at it that way, because everybody is different, But it is kind of nice when you go to a restaurant and everybody knows you. And you feel like that's why you go back, because they know what you drink, they like what you like to eat, they know all that, right?
Usually that's reserved for the owner of the restaurant.
Well,
everyone knows you. When you go back, they have your food ready. They know what you like.
yeah, your drink's right there. That's all the servers. I mean, that's in a lot of places around here. Somebody says you eat out all the time. Well, I'm busy. I'm working. I'm meeting people like you.
You've cooked for me a number of times.
Yes, and you've eaten it too.
And I haven't gotten sick.
No, and we have to have a food taste for Sarah.
We're having dinner tonight too.
Yeah, we're having our traditional St. Patrick's
I know
Day.
we had to delay the start of the show because you had to go simmer the beef or whatever it was you were doing in there.
Of course, you have to. I boil it, and somebody said no, bake it, and I read all kind of. I've been doing this for years and years. Corned beef and cabbage, and soda bread, which I thought was a disaster to make. Bill used to make it all the time, so I made real soda bread, fresh soda bread today.
Have? I think I might have had this
soda
before.
bread.
Yeah,
it's only on St. Patrick's Day. It was so ridiculous how to make. I'm surprised I don't have all kind of stuff in my hands. Flour, everything, buttermilk, flour, butter. I mean everything. Anyhow, making you hungry, I bet.
I'm a little bit hungry.
Well, I'm proud of you that you resolved this conflict that could have been a potential lawsuit.
So
At the last minute, too. You are our hero. We need a hero song on there.
There's a Spider-Man Nickelback Chad Kroeger song from one of the Spider-Man movies. They say that you're a hero. I'll have to put that on here.
Do that. Who was the other one? Bette Miller sang, or one of them sang. I'll have to
find
out what it is.
We could connect your thing on here and play it through this.
Yeah, that's what Wendy used to do, and Kyle used to do all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably can't figure out the Bluetooth as we're already going.
It's okay.
Actually, you know what?
We don't have to do it. We don't have to do that right now.
We'll figure it out one of these days.
Speaking of radio stuff, we want to get back to your interest in radio.
And yours.
And how I got involved in it. Because we didn't get a chance to really...
Mine's a lot more brief than yours.
Well, I don't know. It probably isn't, because you...
Well, my radio career specifically, yes, but my media background is a little more extensive.
Okay.
Because I was in a number of print publications. I was only on one radio too? I don't remember. My resume's on LinkedIn. Go look it up if you're really that interested.
Yeah. No, it's okay. But I think one of the things I never ever thought in a million years that I would be doing radio show. Mm-hmm. It was a fluke. Some things just happened by fluke. Years and years and years ago. I'm not going to tell you how long ago. It was probably in 98, 99. I had...
People can do that simple math, by the way.
Yeah, worked. Yes, they do. I had worked volunteering, came out and moved out here, volunteering and helping people resolve some of their differences in juvenile court and some of the criminal justice stuff. And one of the criminal justice attorney's probation officers had a case, and I went down and helped this kid. And I said, I wonder what's going on at home with this kid. And he says, well, maybe that's what we need to find out. So I got interested in doing what they call family mediation. And going in and seeing and talking to the families and sitting down and finding out what's really going on with everyone. And started to do a contract mediation program with families. It became so powerful, I guess, and successful that I was just volunteering that they would continue sending me probationers, kids, young adults. And a friend of mine who was running a radio program had heard about what I was doing, and she said, I need to have you on the show. You need to talk about how this is doing. So I went on her show as a guest, and she interviewed me about the program and how successful it was. And then somebody else had me come on, and somebody else had me on. It was just like a fun thing to do. So finally... somebody had heard me several times, and I was just a guest, like you would be a guest.
Mm-hmm. I was a guest for you.
Yeah. Now look at you.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
moving up in the world.
Yeah. So anyhow, I got a call from one of the owners of radio program here in Phoenix, KFNX, and he said, "Gee, would you like to have your own show? And I said, I can afford to do that. I mean, well, we have sponsors. You get sponsors. And I said, I don't know. I've always been just a guest on people's shows. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I mean, I'm not a journalist. Everybody thinks that you have to be a journalist to do radio. All you have to do is have a good subject to know what you're talking about. Or not know what you're talking about, right? But
you just got to be able to fill that airtime.
You need to fill the airtime, and I learned very quickly. All right. But anyhow, yeah, I did. I learned that from the other people that had the show. So I thought, okay, fine. So I went on, and he said, we'll teach you. You'll be fine. And I had a producer that sat up in a window, and I had to keep looking at the clock, making sure the ads would come on, and doing all this whole thing. So as it turned out, I thought, who can I call to really help me with this and be my first guest? And it was Blaze Lantana. And Blaze has a very successful jazz show, and Bill loves her and listens to her was listening to her every night. So Blaze and I became friends, and I called Blaze and I said, I need your help. Can you come on my show? So she was late getting there, and I started the show. First guest. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mediation Talk. I'm waiting for my guest to come. She comes flying. It was ended up being really funny.
When you started out, you called it Mediation Talk and never changed the name. Never changed the name until I came on.
And, well, MD, yeah. Mediation
we've
Talk
added
with
to the
Diann
name.
Wilson. Yeah, we never changed the name. Because I knew it was going to be Mediation Talk, because that's what I was into, that's what I was doing, that's what I was being trained for. What are you doing, Michael?
Every time I hear the ball hit the green back here.
What's not going to hit you?
I know, but I know that some people can skull the ball.
They
and then
don't do it.
When you skull, it goes
I
far
know.
and to the right, and we are right in that pathway of a skull shot.
No,
so I
it
just
isn't. He landed on the green,
growing
and look,
up on
and
it,
see all those balls?
growing up on, yeah, see, so
Okay,
we are in range.
No, wait a minute. Those balls came from the wall. They never end up here. If they hit him in the head today.
I'm not worried about it. Well, maybe.
Okay.
But growing up on a golf course,
I know.
we had golf balls in our yard all the time, in the pool, off the house. They broke things, and
My brother had windows broken,
exactly,
and glass doors and everything broken in his
and
house.
I hate to say it, but I don't think that's Tiger Woods over there. So I think we have to worry that there might be a little bad shot in our way.
Tiger Woods has a bunch of broken bones.
No, I get that.
Woods. Okay. No, he's too far away from
Point being is, this is not a tour tournament going on
she's down
behind
in
us.
the lake looking for her ball, okay? Anyhow,
Meaning,
this is how it goes.
Meaning you can hit it and not go nowhere, wherever it's going to go.
I think, Michael, what we're going to do is get a helmet and put it on your head.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about being hit when we're inside of Hillstones,
No, we're
unless people
not.
are going to throw food at us.
Well, they might.
I mean, I could bring a helmet. I've got a football helmet at home.
Well, we're going to have to put a helmet on you for the next show.
Little sun visor mask, protect my eyes.
Yeah, we can do all that. I even have my glasses on now. I can take them off. I do have eyes. They're not bloodshot either. They will be later. Anyhow, that's how that happened. So I was on there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
16
I've had
years or
all
so?
kind of, not on that show. Oh,
Oh,
God.
not that one?
No, I was, 16 years been doing radio. That was like 6 years. So then I was in New York City doing a show that I was.
New York City, people.
I met, they
I
all
love
know,
New York.
that's my city. So I was in New York City, and I went through the World Trade Center, and I went to this is interesting, and I went over to the little church. And I used to go in that little church, and it had the oldest graveyard there. And I went in, and there was a guy sitting there selling a book. And I went in and started talking to him. Of course, you know how shy I am. And I said, what are you selling your book here for? And he was a fireman, and it was the most beautiful pictorial. I have to go find it. And he did this whole thing, was a fireman, and he got really sick in the fire. I think he ended up having lung disease or whatever, but he had the most beautiful pictorial, and they hired him from the union. And I forget what they call the union reps up there in New York City, but they're all divided into all of the different boroughs. So they hired him to do the pictorial because he was a photographer, and he put Anna Fireman into this beautiful pictorial. And I said, why aren't you in the World Trade Center? Well, they won't let me. Hello, you told me they won't let you. Well, I'm going to tell you what, we're getting you in there. That's all I had to say. Okay? So it became my effort, dutiful effort, to make sure that he got his book. And I had to deal with the firemen's organization, the whole, I don't call it mafia.
Resolution is my job.
Right. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do here? So they said, we want you to come on this radio show. So I went on this radio show in New York City about the World Trade Center and all the people that I met and why he couldn't get his book in there. It was really an interesting show at NYU. We did it at the mediation conference group over there. They have their own mediation program like Pepperdine and like ASU and like, all the schools do. NYU had a really good one. They kept inviting me to come back. So somebody heard the show, and it was on the air, and I thought, this is really fun. And I was already on KFNX. Dave Pratt heard it. And I have to give a big shout out to Dave Pratt. Dave Pratt is probably one of the greatest, I would say, radio people in this whole state.
I sent him a LinkedIn message today. I saw him on the feed, so I sent something to him today.
Dave Pratt and his family are like my family, and I give him a big shout out because he's the most wonderful person in the world. He had a big rock show here. He started Star Worldwide Networks.
Well, KFNX is a rock network or station, is it?
No, there's a talk show. No.
I don't really listen to the radio.
It's a talk show. It's just a radio talk show.
We're in the internet age again, so that's why we're doing this. We're not on the radio
Well, that's what
waves.
Dave said to me. Everybody's going on the airways and come on over to do Star Worldwide Networks. So I was there for a long time. I mean, after 100 shows, we had a big party, and we had so many wonderful guests come on. And then COVID hit. And everybody else says, what are you going to do? And I said, nope, I can't. I'm not going to go in there. I'm losing all my support, all my sponsors. We can't afford to be doing any more radio airtime. Let me build up again, and we'll come back. And then
build back better.
Yeah, well, we're going to have him on, and he came on my first show when I was on with them. He came on my 100th show. We had a big party. But anyhow, Dave Pratt, you're the best, and we're going to get him. We're going to have him on here. No, he has to come on. You got to hear Dave and his Kyle and all the kids are like my family. But anyhow, I love him. And as a result of that, he gave me the confidence to do the show, and all my people did. I mean, all my guests do. The guests are the one that taught me. So when we realized that people were wanting to come on the show, I was like really thrilled. So we've done something right. But anyhow, that's how I got all started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
deal. So I feel very comfortable with a headset on and a microphone in front of me.
See, my story's a little bit different.
Okay.
I kind of always wanted to do radio or broadcasting in some sense, mainly because I like talking.
No.
I've always been told that I have a good voice for it.
You do have a
whether
great
or not,
voiceover.
I mean, I can hear myself in my headphones, and I sound pretty good.
Yeah, well, see, I have a horrible one. I could do Mara, though, from
but anyway,
Schitt's Creek. I could do her.
I know you can.
I could do her really great.
But the baby! So,
yeah, you do have a good voice for radio. I have a face for radio.
So back when I was this is probably my sophomore year at Arizona down in Tucson.
You were a baby.
I knew that, well, at that point in time, it was way before law school was ever even a thought. But at that point in time, I wanted to work in the sports industry, and so I went and applied at the paper, the Daily Wildcat, the newspaper, because I saw something they were looking for sports writers, and I was like, I hate writing. I always hated English class. But at Arizona my freshman year, and I'll have to send this to you because you'll appreciate this. I had an English class, and one of the assignments was write an essay or something, but in the form of a magazine article or newspaper article.
Right.
And it was any topic you wanted. And so I wrote about the designated hitter and my hatred of it.
The designated hitter.
In baseball.
Okay.
And my hatred for the designated hitter. And I wrote that paper, and it was a blast. I had a lot of fun with it.
Good.
And then I was like, this is a sophomore year in college. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. This is kind of fun. Like, this could be a potential career. And I knew I wanted to try to do something with sports. And so I applied at the paper. And they didn't hire me directly. They didn't hire anyone. And I called the editor of the sports section once a week. And I go, hey, did you hire anyone yet? Nope, haven't made a decision. They also hadn't had any interviews either. And finally, on like the third or fourth time I called, and there was Brett Farah, and he actually is still a journalism person somewhere in the state of Arizona. He might be back down at U of A, but he was the guy. And he goes, you're the only person that's called about this, and you called like 3 times.
You keep calling us.
So you know what? If you want the job, I'll just give it to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I applied, and I've called you like 4 times. I'll take it. And so I started as a student reporter, and I covered a couple of things down there for the school on sports stuff. And from that, it kind of just grew, and there was a student radio network down there. And I just went up to the radio network and was like, hey, I want to be on the student radio. How do I get a show? Well, this is the thing.
I love
If you were like a freshman, sophomore, you were supposed to, do some the little updates like on the end of the hour for like 1 or 2 minutes before you then get like a speaking role on a show.
Right.
Well, anyway, there was this one guy that no one liked who had a solo sports show, and they're like, if you want to go do one with him, go for it. But no one else. And so I was like, I just wanted to be on there. I'll do it. The show was on. It was the worst. It was Friday night. Oh. Like no one watched it really. But it was my intro to it, and I think I did 12 or 14. It was once a week for a semester, and I will fully admit my partner was awful. He didn't. There was a reason why he was by himself. He would routinely do like a 3-minute show because he could speak, but he was like a real nerd. He didn't have much to say. So I would talk for most the whole time, and he would just kind of have tidbits of stats stuff. He was like a real math major. He wanted to work for like Elias Sports Bureau, but he couldn't like have a human interaction with someone. It was real hard to have a conversation with him.
Statisticians for baseball.
That's what he wanted to be.
Oh, God,
exactly.
it's so boring.
And so I would talk a lot, and then finally, after like the second show, I went back to the people, and I was like, guys, I realized that I'm like 3 weeks into the radio club now, and I shouldn't have even been on air yet. But you threw me with this guy, and now I'm already the lead host of this, and I'm doing all the work. I need someone else to help me because I can't talk to myself for an hour with this guy, like maybe giving me a little bit of feedback. And so they pulled someone else from the club that wanted to be on a sports show, and he became like our third person. And the show was really fun after that. It was I'm trying to think if his name was. I think his name was Zach Dyer, or it was definitely Dyer. I don't remember. Sorry, whoever you were, Mr. Dyer.
Where is he now?
No idea. I haven't talked to any of these people in years and years. This is 15 years ago, conservatively. But and I'm still doing radio. I don't think they are.
A liability.
But my new co-host was good. We could have a good interaction. I think we I don't remember if we became good friends or not. I mean, not anymore. But maybe in college we were. But it was fun. I had a good semester with it, and I always enjoyed it. Yeah. And so it was one of those things where I was like, radio. You talk for a little bit, you turn it off, and you go home, and you do it again later. Like it's pretty good.
It's a lot of fun, and it's very informative, and especially get your message out there. And that's what we're trying to do, is get the message out there. We're trying to educate people, and with a little bit of entertainment along with it. But I also wrote a lot of articles for our local Biltmore magazine for a year.
They're in the mediation book we did for training. I saw some of the articles in there.
Articles. I think I had one, No Good Deed Goes Unpunished, and how to get along with your family during the holidays.
We lose our Irish flag here for St.
Yeah, we
Pat's.
can't lose our Irish
flag. I don't want that
flag.
to go over the wall.
Yeah, I was trying to wear it today. But no, I think writing about something that you're good at doing and making it fun too. I had a lot of fun writing those articles.
It's not work when you like the topic.
Exactly.
And that's what I discovered with my DH paper, and that's what I try to do with my career. I will say I do enjoy the law stuff that I do. It's kind of cerebral, intellectual stuff, but I like that. It's a mind game.
Well, also, whenever you're able to do what you did the other night, and you're our hero, and be able to do something that finally gets some really good results. Everything, I think it's so great being a mediator because I always have good results. Can always feel good.
That's how you know you're a good mediator.
Yeah, I always feel good when I walk away from a mediation and I could rip up my notes and say, hey, this was fine. Everybody came to a great resolve, and I could feel really good about it. Never had, thank God, knock on wood, or those are you, that we've ever had anyone come back and say it was a lousy, rotten mediator and I don't like what happened. And I won't let that happen. I just won't let that happen. And I haven't had a lot of my friends that come back and say that they haven't had that either. In the courts, municipal courts, of course, we mediate in all of those courts. The bottom line is to resolve it rather than going into the court situation. But anyhow, I think that makes it fun. So you've had that experience, and that's why you love doing my show.
Yes, and the radio turned into. I worked for a couple TV stations. I worked for a couple other publications, but ultimately, I've got a lot of media background type stuff before I went to law school, and so that's why coming in and doing something like this, it's fun. I've got the experience to do it, and frankly, for the last 10 years, I've been giving people advice, and so this is just a new form of talking.
This is another way of giving advice without, absolutely causing a problem. Maybe. I haven't given. I'm very careful about giving advice to anyone. You were trained to give advice. We're trained to listen and let them take their own, journey.
I don't know if I was trained to give advice per se, but my job involves me giving a lot of unsolicited. Well, not a lot of giving a lot of advice, and whether you like it or not.
Yeah, whether you like
cold
it or
hard
not.
truth advice.
Yeah, this is the one.
The truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, there's a lot of tough love involved.
Right. That's exactly right. But no, I think that's great. So you do have, and you like it. I think when you like something, it's not a job. It's just not a job.
Yeah, and I will say I do like what I do. The deal that I resolved over the weekend that made me the hero. I will say when I got the message from my guys that the deal was closing,
I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty good.
So yeah, I mean it's a good feeling because
you feel good.
The crisis has been averted. I mean, I don't want to say solely because of me, but if I didn't do what I did, I don't think the deal would have moved forward.
Right.
And so there had to be some type of intervention, and it's good to know that I caused something positive to happen.
You did. Hey, there goes the drink lady.
Oh, do we need anything?
No, I don't think so.
She's probably got green beer.
She probably does. Somebody told me to drink green beer today, and I says I'll turn green if I drink green beer.
So there's
That'll
three
make me-
three people in that group, and not one of them has green on.
Well,
How sad.
Well, there's not a lot of Irish people living around
But
here.
you don't have to be
You have
Irish.
to wear green. You have to.
It's just the day.
You have to be. You have to be
even
Irish.
if it's just a headband around
Look,
your neck.
this is supposed to go up here, but it didn't fit.
I mean, I think there's green on every
You
article.
have even your shoes are green.
My shoes are green. My
He
socks.
has his pajamas on.
Every article I'm clothing
I love it.
is green today.
I think it's very nice. Did your family have all green on? Is Sarah wearing green today?
I don't.
Sarah
think
wasn't feeling well today.
Yeah,
so
she was
a little
she
green
was
herself.
she was moody today, so I didn't really get into that. And I haven't seen my family, my parents yet, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. So they.
I got to go over there in a little bit to get some medicine for Sarah.
Oh, you do?
Because she's got a cold or something going on.
Okay. Well, we won't keep you. We want to have you take care of
We're actually
Sarah.
we're at 62 minutes right now, so we've
Well,
definitely
we're pretty
filled our
much-
allotted
pretty
time.
much ready-
And we didn't
pretty
even
much
talk
done.
about your two issues, so we can just push off to next week if we would like.
What was the other issue?
We kind of talked about the mask brawl at Fashion Square, but you were talking about the B of A police officer.
Oh yeah,
And the lady
woman
that didn't want to wear a mask
the
there.
woman
yeah.
that wore the mask, and she actually caused such a scene at the Bank of America.
Was this on TV or anything, or how did you find out about this?
I'm not saying TikTok, because it was
National
on
news.
national
I
news.
forgot. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe you were at the B of A when it happened. I don't know.
No, I wasn't there,
Maybe
because
you
if that would
TikToked it.
have happened, I would have been in her face. Believe me, I would have been in her face.
Pet peeve.
That's my pet peeve.
Lady dies. Pet peeve of the week.
Right. I have my pet peeves. That would have just irritated me. And we were there, and I think we could have resolved it had you and I been in there. We could have said, "Hey, listen, you really want to cause a scene for yourself. This is going to go viral on TikTok."
Karen.
Yeah, we called her Karen. Everybody was Karen, right? But she did. She had this attitude about her that he was violating her rights. And the big sign says, "This is private establishment. You must wear a mask."
And we have a statewide mask mandate,
And
as we previously
and it was
discussed.
in Texas too, by the way.
It's what?
The Texas B of A, not here.
Oh, this was in Texas?
Yes.
I don't think they have a mask mandate in Texas right
in
now.
the bank they do.
Well, I think
That was a big
businesses are free to make their own decisions,
right.
yes.
But people coming into the bank has to wear a mask.
Okay.
And she started taking her purse, and I think she started swinging around. I thought he was going to hit her. She was going to hit him with it. He actually grabbed her.
The officer.
Yeah, and then she accused him of putting her hand there in her vajiji.
Oh, he inappropriately touched her
And
as he was
did not do
restraining
that.
her.
And everybody was screaming at her, "He did not touch you. He did not touch you." I loved it. And there were people there videoing it and everything. So he tried to make him.
Is she our asshole of the week?
She's one of them.
Two candidates?
Yeah, two Karens.
Two Karens. Well, I forgot who our first... I know who our first one was. It was my escrow person.
Oh, he was Ken.
Ken,
Yeah,
Ken and
Ken
Karen.
and Karen.
What a couple.
Right. But no, that's when it happened. So it was kind of like, if I were there, what would I have done?
You might have said something like this to her.
You're stupid. You're more stupid. You're much stupider.
That's what Ken and Karen would say to each other.
Yeah, you're stupid. Yeah. But no, that it would be like, what would you do in that situation? The thing you want to do is protect yourself from getting hurt and protecting yourself and being in the middle of somebody else grabbing you and hitting you with their purse, because that's what would happen. The good deed gone unpunished thing that I always talk about.
As much as I don't like the mandates.
I can smell my beef in there.
Is it?
Can you
it's not,
smell it?
No.
Okay.
We don't have smell-o-vision on YouTube. It's not it's not a feature that's available yet that
Can
I'm aware
anybody
of.
smell the corned
Maybe
beef
it's a
on here?
premium feature. I don't know. We'll have to
And Bill,
look into that.
I don't know. He's not even around. I should probably call him.
Well, we'll wrap up here in a second. I lost my train of thought about what I was going to
Now
say.
we're talking about the asshole of the week is Ken and Karen from B of A. Now we were talking about the mask situation.
Oh,
how we would
it could have all been averted. As much as I hate wearing them and I don't want to deal with it, I mean, if I'm about to get an officer tackling me or whatever the case, I'll put the damn thing on at that point.
Well, our buddy DJ, Dr. Gone, went to get his second COVID shot. And I'm sorry, DJ, but I have to bring this up because you almost got yourself arrested for trespassing. Went to get his second shot, and they wouldn't give it to him because he didn't make an appointment. And he says, well, I got the first one here. Why can't I get the second one here? Because he was busy, and it almost had an altercation with the people. And I says, was it worth it for you to get into an altercation? And he said, well, they were going to get me for no trespassing. I said, so what did you do? He had his office call to get him the appointment. He left, and he went back and got in line and came back again.
So ultimately, he did get it.
Made a total fool of himself.
So it sounds like his office resolved the conflict.
Yeah, Brenda did.
Way to go, Brenda.
No,
Is my
Belinda did it. But no, he was upset about it. And DJ is kind of like you. He's going to speak up. He's going to be righteous and be right about the situation. Hey, I got the first one. Why can't I get the second one? All right. And a lot of people don't know. You got to make an appointment for the second one. A lot of people don't realize you're not going to get hit with a ball.
Back there.
Is what?
I heard some yelling. I think they made a long putt back there. Maybe we have it on the camera.
Oh my God! These women, they always yell every time they do something back there. It could be that the ball could be this far away from the hole or something, and they didn't get it in the lake. Sorry.
The lake's a big hole, watering hole.
It is. It is. So
Easy to hit a hole in one there.
I think we should next time put the speaker over here in the headset so you can see what's going on out there.
To look out that way?
Yeah.
When the camera's going to be on us and just the house, not the scenery.
That's true. We want to have the scenery.
Whoa. Hold the phone. Next time, we're going to be on location, I believe.
That's right. We won't have people threatening to hit you in the head with their golf ball.
I mean, that was the whole point of packing up in our promo so we can go out and about. Now, I realize that we've been at your house here and we have a good background and we wanted to change the location, but we didn't get a video last week, so that's why we wanted to redo here.
Well, we want to redo it because we love this.
No, it's a good view, and there's nothing wrong with this scene. I like being out here. It's nice out. We've got a good background.
Yes, we do. We didn't get it.
We've got a cleaning staff that comes by every hour or so to check on us. He hasn't been back since we scared him. I scared him off.
Right.
But he'll come back.
I have a question for you.
Okay. I might have an answer.
Just a question. Do you like pranks?
Pranks?
Yeah. Do you like pranks?
Yes.
Okay. Do they offend you?
No.
Okay. All right. Just asking. Some people hate them.
I like playing pranks on others. Particularly my mother.
You play pranks on your mother?
All the time.
Okay.
Growing up, there was a lot of things that we did in the house to her, yes.
Okay. But they didn't hurt her
no.
or upset her?
No. Well, I mean, not that I remember or choose to share.
I'm just curious. I like people to find out if they like pranks or not.
Fair enough.
Because I had a big discussion about this with a friend the other night that absolutely hate them.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Because I'm a real prankster. Because I like to have somebody come down and fake hit you in the head with a golf ball.
Yeah, that might be an issue. I don't know how you're going to get them to hit it that close without actually hitting.
We get a wiffle ball.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hit you in the head. Next, I should have said that, but that would have been kind of funny.
Maybe.
Here comes a ball, Michael Duck.
Might have been difficult doing that at Hillstones, but
No.
we'll see. I think that's what was that what we've decided?
Yeah, that's where we're supposed to be going next
You're
Wednesday.
you're the booking agent for this.
Oh, I'm not okay.
I will bring the stuff and set it up and try to figure out how to upload it to the internet and do all the other stuff, but you get to choose the location, the where and when. So
All
that's
right,
your
well,
job.
I'll have to get my people that I've been talking to that want us to come.
Fair
'Cause
enough.
we have what? We have Hillstones. We have Rubio's. No, not Rubio's. We have Bobby Q's.
Oh, yes.
We have Bobby Q's. We also have Keegan's.
Oh, right over on
Yeah,
30. Okay, yeah.
Keegan's. Keegan wants us to come in.
I know we want to do one just in the Biltmore somewhere in general in the mall.
We're going to go right in the Biltmore.
Yeah. No, we've got
They love us
plenty
there.
of locations.
Seasons 52.
And frankly,
all restaurants.
as we gain viewership and popularity, hopefully more locations will volunteer their sites for us
well,
to come to the show.
we were invited to go back up to New York. So you can come up to New York. We can do one in Rockefeller Center.
Not opposed to it. And it's a
And
little
sit
bit of a
there.
longer trip.
Sit there and take a picture of where the tree is, because every year I go up and take the tree down for years.
I know you've talked about that, yes.
And we did a show up there last year. We were supposed to do it, and they took the tree down before we got there. We had our equipment with us and everything, me and Aaron. And they took the tree down because somebody made a threat.
Oh, you told me about
Yeah,
this.
it was horrible. I was so upset. I still went out with the equipment and did one anyhow.
Well, and there's always next year.
And the year before that, we did one there, so we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there's always next year. I mean,
We've been going every year taking the tree down because everybody comes and sees a tree when it goes up, and they have a big party, but nobody's there when to take a dump at me.
well, I mean, it's March.
Freezing to death.
It's March now, and so we've got a good 8-9 months to
get ready
build up
for
some
it.
popularity and then go.
Right. Well, we can just go. We have a bunch of people that come there all the time with us. so-
Something to look forward to in the future.
Right.
So anyway,
So we're going to wrap this up?
yeah,
I want to go get Sarah some medication.
we had 23 views on our first video right now, so
Oh, we
hopefully
did.
those 23 people will come back, and then we'll get a couple more, and we'll
Who were they,
increase
all
that each
family
time.
members?
You can't see who views it. I don't know.
Did you give a shout out to Howard today? Howard Dorman, hi.
Hi, Howie.
How are you, Howard?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
He could be a guest sometime too.
Well, he said we have to go to his office.
Location.
We'll go down there.
So anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button wherever it is on our page, and then tune in. And so I don't know what day we're going to come back, but I mean we're on YouTube.
We're hoping to be back on Friday somewhere, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, and ultimately, you can watch these videos or listen to them at your convenience whenever you want in your car,
That's
at
what's
home,
nice about
otherwise.
this.
Yeah,
That's what's so much fun about it.
yeah.
Everybody can listen
We are
to
an
it.
on-demand program for you.
That's
and
right.
so, thanks for joining us. And until next time.
Well, I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
I have to say
I know.
my thing.
I was going to wait and just hold my hand here until you're done.
I'm going to get a stick and hit you. Can you do that again? A very soft stick. Anyhow, what do we say at the end of the show?
I'm waiting for you.
Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us and Mediation Talk MD. And don't forget, take that emotion out of the commotion with mediation, not litigation or arbitration. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
30 seconds.
I'm just. All right, let's give me the wave so I know when to connect the audio versus the video.